Welcome to a brand new edition of the It's in the Game podcast here on the Ball is Life podcast network, which you can find on ballislife.com and also youtube.com/Cruise Control Podcast. As always, I'm joined by a great friend of mine, Denny Blanco on Twitter and IG at I am Denny Blanco. My man, how you doing?
Denny Blanco, the NBA whisperer. I'm speaking to Randy Cruz. It's in the game podcast, Ball is Life, all the above. Shout out to everybody on the Cruise Control Network, building up
Mm,
slowly but surely. If you have not yet joined the Cruise Control Podcast Network on YouTube, please
that's
do.
right.
The link will be available. Please join the network. We are building something great. So much so, you see the handsome beard that this gentleman across from me has, Randy Cruz. He's going to have a revenant beard by the time you know it. By the time this is going to be a major podcasting network, Cruise Control
Mm.
Podcast, his beard will be Moses-esque. Okay, so you're seeing the growth you're seeing it as it goes along. So just
Exactly.
keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. But yes, it's NBA time.
Listen, man, I just feel like I got lazy trimming, shape it up. I mean, I'll shape it up, but trimming it's just a lot. So I'm going to see how long I can let this grow, see what happens. I know we're in March still, so maybe by let's see April, May when it gets hotter, I might be like, man, this thing got to go.
It's
So
it's
we'll
beautiful.
see.
It's beautiful. You have the beautiful skin to allow you to grow beautiful hair that grows in a certain way. Unfortunately for me, my hair grows all over the place. So when I have facial hair, it's
Uh-huh.
very annoying to my skin. That's why I
Mhm.
like to keep my hair, my get my facial hair, keep it low, keep it light, keep it cute. You
Right.
feel me?
I feel you.
Mhm.
Um, so we are doing the NBA trade deadline kind of recap here on the podcast. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Randy J Cruz, RANDY, the letter JCRUZ. Again, find the podcast on ballslife.com, youtube.com/Cruise Control Podcast. If you're watching live on Twitter right now, we thank you, man, for the support. If you got any
All
questions or
day.
comments about the
Holla at
NBA
us.
trade deadline, put your response in the chat.
Yes.
So, Denny Blanco, a lot of movement yesterday. I know we did not do a show. We did one last week, but there's other things happen after that. So we got the whole LeBron injury. He's out for indefinitely. LaMelo Ball's out indefinitely. So a lot of things has happened prior to the
Yeah.
trade deadline, but I want to get to the deadline stuff first. So the
Copy.
first big name that got moved was your boy Nikola Vucevic,
The
however you
best.
pronounce it.
The best. The best.
So he goes from Orlando. Orlando has a major fire sale going on. They got rid of everybody.
Take it.
Um,
Take it.
he goes to Chicago. I think Chicago now. I don't know about this year, but I think going into next year is going to be a formidable team in the Eastern Conference that gives Zach LaVine another All Star, a young All Star that can get 25 and 12 on any given night. I'm very interested in see how that pairing is gonna unfold. And now, because with the whole playoff, the new playoff format, 10 teams make it. So can Chicago be in that mix? But first of all, what did you make? Were you surprised that the Magic? We kept hearing Aaron Gordon, but now they moved also him. We'll get to him later on. But they also moved Vucevic to Chicago.
Listen, I swore I spoke to Danny Ainge and we had a conversation, and I
Right.
swore that was supposed to be a pickup. I swore that was supposed to be a pickup for the Boston Celtics, but unfortunately, that didn't pan out. And I don't know whether it was um, Orlando asking for too much back. I don't know, but clearly the deal was done with Chicago, and Chicago only had to give up, I believe, Otto Porter and another player
Uh,
off the top of my head I do not know.
Wendell Carter,
Wendell. So they give up Wendell, Carter, and they
Porter,
get back
and
and Otto Porter, who's been stealing money from Washington for a minute,
right.
and they get back Vucevic, who's an all-star, who's been playing like an all-star for the past maybe 3 or 4 years. Okay, now you can't double Zach LaVine, baby.
I think
You
they
dancing,
also
baby.
they also got back Al Farouk Aminu, a nice piece.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
like you mentioned, man, you're gonna have Vucevic, Zach LaVine. You still got Kobe White there.
They're,
Marketing
look,
is still there.
they're looking all right. They're looking all right.
They're looking a whole lot better than they were 24 hours ago. I'll
Oh,
tell you that much.
1,000%. So 1,000%. They're definitely good. They're definitely. You talking about playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're going to be able to gather the right chemistry, momentum to
So
to.
as of right now, as of today, Chicago Bulls are 10th. So if the playoffs were to start today, there'll be a playoff team to go in in that one game playoff.
Vukovic is going to make. He's going to earn his money. I tell you that much. He's going to earn his money this year. You
Mm-hmm.
add Zach LaVine to the Bulls, we talking something now. We talking. So we gonna see.
And Zach gets 28 a game. Nikola
Right.
gets 24 a game.
24 and 12. Right.
24 and 12
Woo-hoo.
can shoot the three. So it's not like you
Woo-hoo.
can, like you said. Now the doubling on Zach Levine
Nope.
is gonna dwindle down. Like
Nope.
okay, I can't double Zach knowing I got Nicole over there. So it's a nice tag team that got going on in Chicago. Then the future is bright for them. We'll see if they make a playoff run this year. If not, I know for a fact next year they'll be in that top 6, top 7 range. So that domino fell. And then like an hour later, Aaron Gordon goes to Denver. So also Denver, they pick up JaVale McGee. That was their first domino. Aaron Gordon goes from Orlando to Denver. And I'm like, oh, because I'm thinking Boston, I'm thinking Portland, I'm thinking Phoenix that needs that kind of power, small forward, power forward kind of guy. But it goes to Denver and they don't even give up like the main guys or Michael Porter Jr. or they I think they gave up Will Barton. I think I'm not too sure. Gary Harris.
Gary Harris, yeah.
So now you have the Joker, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter, Jamal Murray. Like that's a nice formidable four in the Western Conference. That as of today, Denver is fifth. And knowing how the Lakers are not doing well without LeBron AD, they can be in that top 4 range when it's all said and done. So, do you like or love the Aaron Gordon deal to Denver and how better they become with Aaron Gordon?
Another body to throw at AD and LeBron. The Lakers are in trouble. Let me tell you something. As well as the Clippers. Okay? Denver is stockpiled with guys who are long,
Mm-hmm.
athletic, can defend, and can shoot, minus JaVale McGee, of course. But everybody else, they're pretty much loaded at every position that they need to be. If I were the Lakers and the Clippers, I'd be scared as hell, and they're deep. So this is the second best, obviously the second best trade that the Denver gets better. And they didn't give up anybody. They didn't give everybody of importance. They got enough guard play, forward play, center play. Utah, good luck with that number 1 spot. I don't think it's going to matter come playoff time because Denver's ready.
Denver's tough, and they kept Millsap too. You would think
Denver,
someone in that starting 5 was going to go, but they kept everybody.
Denver is loaded to throw as many bodies at LeBron, at LeBron and Anthony Davis who are coming back from injuries. Hey guys, good luck, AD, LeBron. You're gonna have your work cut out from when you come back.
And you got a potential MVP in the Joker doing what he does. If the starting 5 is Joker, Gordon, Paul Millsap, Michael Porter, Jamal Murray, something like that.
It can go so many different ways. You can start Jamal. You can go big. You can go Jamal, Michael Porter. Then you could, obviously you can go Ball. You can go. You can bring Ball off. You can go Joker. You can go Millsap. There's so many ways. That's why I love. Shout out was Mike Malone, coach.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Mike Malone. You've and the guys over at Denver. You guys are just stockpiling, and you are obviously getting ready for the playoffs because you realize you need as many bodies, long bodies, defensive bodies to throw at AD. So I hope all of them expect to use 5 fouls.
Oh, and plus they add McGee. So they
And McGee, baby, come on. Hello, Anthony, baby. Anthony Davis, you're going to have a long playoff series, my brother. If you ever end up seeing Denver, it's going to be a problem, pretty much.
And the fact that they lost Plumlee and Jeremy Grant in the offseason, and they kind of replaced them with McGee and Aaron Gordon. So
I'll take that. I'll take those 2 replacements real quick.
Denver is right back on track. We know what Utah is doing in the West. We know what Phoenix is doing in the West. The Clippers are 3rd. LA is 4th right now. Denver is 5th. Speaking of LA, the Clippers, they get Rajon Rondo for Lou Will and 2 second-round picks. So they get the point guard that we thought they needed. You know, obviously I thought a Kyle Lowry kind of guy could have fit their system too, but they get a point guard who's going to run everything for Kawhi, for Paul George, but they lose a scorer in Lou Will. So did the Clippers improve? Did they remain the same? How does the Rondo deal affect the Clippers in your mind going into the playoffs?
Rondo is the quintessential floor general that you need if you're in the playoffs. And there is a such thing called playoff Rondo. There is an actual point to that name. He is the truth in the playoffs. And it's not so much as his numbers are going to strike you as impressive. He may get, in a couple of minutes, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, he may get you 9 points, 9 assists, 4 steals, 5, it may be three fouls on the other opposing team for the annoying nonsense that he may do. So he brings a whole package. What I'm concerned about is the communication. What's the communication going to be between Paul George and Kawhi Leonard? What's the communication going to be? Because Rondo, some would say, can rub somebody the wrong way. Right, his delivery can be how do we say prickly. Prickly. So the question is, will Paul George and Kawhi Leonard actually, not worry about the exchange? Will they actually welcome him in, and will he actually build chemistry going into the playoffs with all that he knows about the Lakers? That's what Tyronn Lue is betting on, and we're going to see. But their bigs have nothing for the Lakers, so it's a moot point in my opinion.
Well, I if I'm Paul George, I can't do nothing else except for listen to Rondo, because last time I checked, Rondo got 2 chips, Paul George got 9, Kawhi got 2. So if there's a point guard or a player that's going to come in and kind of like orchestrate everything and kind of follow my lead, it is Rondo. So
it would seem as if Tyronn Lue realized the actual locker room didn't have a verbal captain. It would seem as if, because obviously Kawhi, everyone knows, is quiet, doesn't say much. And Paul George, there's not too much history of him being this verbal, vocal leader. So everyone's just doing their own thing. And Tyronn Lue's looking around like, we need somebody to just be the verbal direction of this team. So Rondo will work.
And I assume Rondo will start.
Yeah, they're going to start him and Reggie off the bench.
I doubt Reggie and Pat Bev come off the bench.
They're going to bring them off the bench.
Like I said, they do lose the scoring from Lou Will. That off the bench 6-man power come off the 17, 18 a game. Who's going to do that? That might be Reggie now.
Just spread out 18 points between 3 players. Right. And you're good. That's how you cover that. But Lou Will wasn't the best. Lou Will wasn't the best of defenders. Right.
But does the Rondo move elevate the Clippers? Like, oh wow, you know what? We're in that 2-3 team race that can win a championship, or do you feel like they, it's a pickup they needed, but it's not like all right, they're going to the conference finals, or they're going to the finals, or they're going to win the whole thing.
Stinks.
Like the same 2-3 range.
They don't move the needle. They didn't move the needle for me. I didn't say, oh, now they're beating the Lakers or Utah in a 7-game series or Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're beating those three right now. Right now.
The Clippers. So they're not beating Utah, Phoenix, Lakers, and Denver right now. You're not.
If Lakers are fully loaded, Lakers fully loaded. Denver
yeah.
right now, yeah, Denver right. They're not beating them in a 7-game series. That team, the Clippers, as constructed right now, even with Rondo, I don't see it. Not enough. Not enough. And not enough. Not enough. Not enough. So,
what else we got here? Boston, Orlando continue to trade people. Evan Fournier goes to Boston. I know that Boston was trying to get Aaron Gordon and some other guys, but they end up with Fournier. They traded the big man Tice. I forgot who they got back for him.
I think they got Wagner from Washington. From what I saw.
Yeah, Mo Wagner. Mo Wagner.
Yeah, from Michigan, right?
Right.
I like him.
So a team like Boston that's seeing other improvements, which we'll get to. I don't know if they did enough to, like last year they made the conference finals. I don't see the team that's right now back in the conference finals, and I just don't know. They were missing that other scorer, like a big man. I mean, I know we're getting some, Drummond just got bought out, all just got bought out, so they could be in that mix for those two guys. But Fournier is a good player, just another guard to what they already had with Kimba and Smart.
Drummond is a sad case because clearly rebounders are not wanted. So they're going to wait for him to get a buyout, and they're going to buy him on the cheap. Okay. When it comes to Boston Celtics, Fournier, my Frenchman's going to add shooting and scoring, which clearly everybody is putting above everything else. It's curious that Bradley Beal stayed put. Very curious.
Not shocking though. Not shocking.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously he's not happy, and that's the type of trade Boston would have had to make for me to be like, oh, okay, with Bradley, with Brown and Tatum, and you the rest of it, okay. But
they weren't going to get Bradley Beal without giving up one of those two guys.
Probably, you're right. You are probably absolutely right. So at this point, you get Fournier. Your objective is to try to outscore the other team.
Right.
Good luck if you don't have. And also, people underestimate if they watch Boston games. Tice did a lot. Tice did a lot for Boston. So defended 5 positions, shot the 3, rebounded, posted up. He did a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see how they replace that.
I think the other big name, Victor Oladipo, going to Miami. So we all knew that Victor did not want to stay in Houston. We all knew that Victor wanted to go to Miami at some point in time, this summer or whatever. He wanted to go to Miami. So Miami Heat now have like their own big 3 version of Oladipo, Butler, and Bam Adebayo. LaMarcus Aldridge seems to be like Miami's in the running, in the lead for Aldridge. And they keep Hero, they keep Duncan Robinson, all them guys, and they add Oladipo. So Miami Heat, who has been playing better for the last month or so, right now stand 7th in the Eastern Conference. But that goes up and down day by day. So how much better does Miami get with the addition of Oladipo?
They get maybe 3 slots better, for sure, in the playoff seedings, because you add now a slasher and a scorer. So technically, you're looking at a starting 5 of what? Butler, Depot,
Bam,
Duncan. We don't have a 1. Do we have a 1? We have none.
It's gonna be Hero or
we have none.
Project, or none.
None. We have none. So we have none. Depot, Butler, Bam. and then you could put Aldridge at the 5. I'll take that.
Right, you could.
I'll take that. I'll run with that in the
Mm.
playoffs and see what transpires. And you can you can mix that up. You can start dunking. You can mix that up because and as well, Duncan and Hero shoot pure shooters surrounded by surrounding Adebayo. And you got slashing Oladipo. Yeah, Pat Riley does it again, baby.
And I think we also got Iguodala on the bench. They got Trevor Ariza off the bench.
Yep,
So
Trevor Ariza they picked up. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I think the Aldridge going to Miami. I think Aldridge is going to go to Miami.
If it was me, Randy, true story. If I was Pat Riley, if I choose between Aldridge and Andre Drummond, I'm picking Drummond, bro. I'm not picking LaMarcus Aldridge. No. See, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, understand something, okay? If you can do something, one thing, you can shoot, rebound, pass, dribble. If you could do one thing better than 80% of the league, I want that. I want that. Andre Drummond is the best rebounder in the league. Is that am I saying something off?
No, you're right.
Andre Drummond is the best rebounder in the league. Put him on Miami. Like you put him on any team really in the East. That good.
But is he the way the team is right now? Is he the better fit for Bam and those guys? Because if Aldridge comes in,
he can stretch it. He can stretch the 3.
He's not your traditional 5. He's more of a 4.
No, he's not. Okay, and think about this. Yeah, you say it. In my head, I'm just like, who would Miami face in the East on the run through the playoffs that the bigs would have problems with? Embiid. You dig me? Like if you see Embiid or Giannis, you need bodies.
And Brooklyn don't got a.
There you go. So there you go. You need bodies to go against Giannis and Embiid, and you're trying to tell me you think LaMarcus Aldridge is going to run around with Embiid and with Embiid and Giannis? That's not going to happen. You better get Drummond. Drummond can move with those boys. Drummond can shift his body. So good luck, Drummond. We'll see in the next couple of days what happens. But Miami is looking really good right now with the pickup, and we'll see what happens. We'll see.
Were you surprised that Kyle Lowry remained in Toronto?
I was. You know why? Shout out to Masai Majuri. Masai, what's up, player?
He saw every deal was like, nah, fam.
Hey, last time I saw you, they was trying to rough you up somewhere, and that came back real quick, didn't it? But neither here nor there. The facts remain. Masai Majuri was sending out memos and phone calls. Was like, yo, listen, y'all want Kyle Lowry? I need this, and 2 first-round draft picks. Holla at me. Now, mind you, Masai Majuri has done this before, and it's worked.
Yeah, my Knicks got fleeced with the Bargnani deal, and even Denver with the Carmelo deal.
Andrea bro, I don't even want to get into it.
The Knicks should stay far away from your jury as far as making a deal with. You want to bring them to New York, that's different, but to do a deal with, no.
Doc Rivers made a phone call from Philly to Toronto, spoke to Masai. Doc said, "What you want? You want me to give up who? What?" And to be honest, I think that might be a trade that comes. Well, the Lakers. The Lakers. From what I heard, Chris Broussard said the Lakers had a chance to get Kyle Lowry, and they didn't pull the trigger because they didn't want to do. The deal was Schroeder, THC,
Tucker,
and some draft picks. And the Lakers said no. And I was like, and Broussard was like, that was the wrong move. And I was like,
I don't. I don't know.
Here's the conversation. Here's the conversation. If LeBron has 3 to 4 years left, how much are you squeezing out of LeBron?
Yeah, because how much Kyle Lowry got?
2 or 3 years at best. Okay. So if and his stats suggest this is his best year statistically.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you get an older guard rather than Schroeder, but you get a guard who's already won a chip, who knows what it is to be in the playoffs, who's a bulldog, who will take the pressure off of LeBron for about 2 or 3 years because they're gonna have to re-sign him because he's a free agent. You re-sign him after the season, 2 or 3 years, but you have a younger Schroeder and THC. They really think THC at 20 is going to be the bee's knees. So when I look at Kyle Lowry and they keep him there, Masai was asking for too much. That's why he's still there.
Right. And the fact that he'll be a free agent this summer, maybe he'll sign somewhere else. I don't think he'll stay in Toronto.
No,
and a team might be like, listen, I'm not going to give up my assets now when I can flat out sign him come summertime. So let's say the Lakers win or lose, they could sign Lowry. Philadelphia, I thought he was going to Philadelphia.
I
Miami.
thought that was a home run because he's from Philly, number one. Number two, they were giving up small pieces, if I'm not mistaken. I think Maxey, point guard. So people was like, well, I wouldn't give up a young point guard and a defender that you need to defend the Nets and the other, big dog, the Bucks, for Kyle Lowry. I said, well, I mean, Maxey's no Kyle Lowry. Thias is no Kyle Lowry. And they're not projected to be Kyle Lowry. And you have 3 years to squeeze out of Kyle Lowry. I mean, and then you literally have somebody who can, if you start him with Ben Simmons, you have somebody who can literally take away Ben's deficiency of not being able to shoot.
Mm-hmm. Well, they did pick up George Hill, and I wrote on Twitter, like, I think
that's
George Hill.
That's a good pickup.
I think George Hill gets traded every trade deadline. Like George Hill. I'm like,
Bucks,
George Hill.
Bucks, Utah, Indiana. I mean,
Cavs.
Yeah, he has a ring.
George Hill.
Cavs.
No.
We'll look that up. George Hill don't have a ring. I'll look that up. Anywho,
I don't know, but they pick up George Hill because I guess they felt they were out of the Kyle Lowry chase. So I mean, it's a good pickup. I don't think it's gonna be like, oh, Philly's gonna take it now. Like it's a solid move. But yeah, so Kyle Lowry, I think could be in Philly next year. He could be in Miami next year. He could be in LA. Toronto did trade Norm Powell to Portland. I did see that.
Yes, that's a huge pickup too, because now, they got rid of Gary Trent Jr. Shout out to him. He's going to have a good career up into Toronto. And
Rodney Hood.
Rodney Hood, peace out to you. I hope your Achilles still keeps getting healthier and you continue career up in Toronto. But now you get rid of a 3-point shooter who really can't defend. Really, get rid of him, and you get rid of a up and coming guard who is doing well. You get rid of him to get a 6'4", 6'5" wing defender who can guard 3 positions, who can shoot the 3, who's athletic, who can score. I love the trade. I mean, quite frankly, it can go so many ways. So now you can go Lillard, McCullough, Norman Powell, Melo, Nurkic. You can go so many different ways with that lineup. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what Portland does.
Yeah, because they were looking for they were trying to get Gordon, and I felt like would Gordon have worked better with Portland than a Norm Powell? I don't know. I know Portland needed some help anyway. Like to be like, you know what, we're in this 5, 6, 7 range. A move that can put me in the top 3, top 4. I think the Powell move is good for them. I just don't know if we're looking at Portland as like, you know what, second round, conference finals. I don't know. Now, I'm not saying if they had Gordon, it would have been like, man, look out for Portland. I think it's both kind of even, but I think Gordon could have been a better fit. We'll see. I could be totally wrong, but I'm glad they made somewhat of a move yesterday.
Man, listen, yeah, there are a lot of people, making moves and not making moves. Even your Knicks. Shout out to your Knicks. They've been playing very, very well, and they looks like they stood pat.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, we
clearly.
traded
Oh no,
Ross Rivers to
yeah, you got rid of Rivers, and you got a guard. I think you got Terrence from OKC. I
Ferguson.
think Terrence
Ferguson.
Ferguson. So he's young, he's athletic, and he can shoot a three. So I'd like to see him mix in with your guys. But hey,
Mhm.
hey, Randy, hey, I want to. The Knicks are exciting, bro. They are exciting. They are young. They are feisty. I love watching
Mhm.
them. They do not quit. They have grit. They're coached well. They up 20. Coach Tibbs had his vein popping up out of his neck, up 20. I
That's right.
said, bro, you up 20. He said, he has the N5 95 mask on and he's trying to block out the spit. And I'm just laughing. I'm just like, bro.
Yep.
But your Knicks, man, yeah, I mean, they stood proud, but I like them as constructed, to be honest with you.
They're fifth right now. Fifth.
I like them as constructed, man. They shoot threes, they defend, they box out, they rebound, they'll get in your face. They'll literally they for me, I mean, RJ Barrett is just starting to really be the player that we expected him to be.
Mhm.
He's starting to come into his own and pick his spots and then Randall the other night, 7 threes. I said, wait, what's going on here? Is this Randall Curry? What's going on? Is this dude just coming down and just go ahead, Randy, talk to me.
Julius Harden.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. This guy was, and then the most recent game with the Wizards. I mean, down a bunch of points.
Right.
Randall's hurt, and they just come back. Nobody was like, no, we're not losing this game. We're gonna just keep playing. We're gonna keep playing, and they just kept chopping it down, and then they came back and won. And it's dope to see what they're doing. But yeah, so hey, some teams made some moves, some teams didn't. The teams that
Right.
did, uh, Chicago, Miami, Denver. Yeah, it changed the look of their team. So we're gonna see.
Well, I'm kind of surprised the Knicks stand. They stood pat. They were
How
trying to
are
get
you?
Lonzo. Um.
What would you give him for Lonzo? What would you
Well,
give him for Lonzo?
I'm 50-50 because I keep reading they want to keep this core. They do not want to break up the chemistry right now because Tibbs is in win now mode to make
He's
the playoffs.
cooking. He's cooking.
So could we have gotten Lonzo Ball? I don't know what they were offering. I don't know what Pelicans were trying to get back from New York,
It was a
or
fleece.
a 3-team
It
deal.
was
I
a
don't know.
fleece.
Right now, the rumor is that when it comes to Drummond, the Knicks are on that list as well. So they could rent him for this season, see what happens. I know he'll want to, he'll get a big contract this summer. So along with Randall. So like now we're doing good with the chemistry, but we're gonna have to answer some questions come free agency. Do we want to pay Randall? If we sign Drummond, do we give Drummond that money? Do we try to get a Bradley Beal? Do we try to get Alonzo Ball? So
Excuse me.
we're cool now, but we at some point in time we got to make some moves.
This mic on. Excuse me. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Check. Wouldn't you want to have a motivated Andre Drummond who's literally on his last year of his contract and is looking for one more payday? Wouldn't you want that on a team that's trying to go into the playoffs and make some noise? Wouldn't you want that? I think you would want that type of energy on your team. Also, he would help guarding your Embiid's,
Mm-hmm.
Lopez's, Giannis's,
Mm-hmm.
Vujicic's, all of them. He'd help. So
Yeah, he'll help. But the thing is, before I let you go, the thing is, Knicks fans are always like, they like someone and they just don't want to like detach from them. So, for example, they sign Andre Drummond. The first thing you're gonna hear, oh, what about the development of Mitchell Robinson? What's going on here? Like, oh, how they play with Randall? Like, if you look at Drummond's numbers, 18 and fucking 15.
Shut your mouth. You shut
And
your
then
filthy mouth.
you look at Mitchell Robinson, who's a nice young player. He's not at Drummond's level yet. So can he learn from Drummond? Can Drummond help in that aspect? Sure. Now, when it comes to money in the summertime, if Drummond comes here, make the playoffs, first round, whatever, he does well.
First
Question
round
is,
upset.
does New York pay him, or does
Yes.
Drummond is Drummond is this a audition for someone else come next year?
I mean,
Or
again,
does Drummond say, you know what, I'll t- I'll go for the ring in Brooklyn, LA now, and then get my payday.
the perfect payday. See, if he goes in the Nets, he won't have the ability to showcase.
Right.
The perfect move for Andre Drummond would be to come to the Knicks, audition this year,
Mm-hmm.
do so well that the Knicks upset whoever they play in the first round.
Okay.
That will solidify him getting a big payday going into the season. Secondly, the chemistry is going to be better because Andre Drummond doesn't need plays set for him to score. He's not about that life. So he's plug and play. You put him in, he's going to throw the other center around, grab offensive rebounds. The Knicks desperately need that. They're going to throw the other center around, and it's going to be a positive experience for the Knicks. But I'm thinking too much. The NBA whispers giving y'all too much. Let me pull back.
Okay, GM. If you do that, if hypothetically Drummond comes to New York as a rental, does decent to well, Knicks on the playoffs,
first round upset,
and now you're like, I could pay Drummond some bread. Then what do you do with Julius Randle? Do you pay him too?
Yes.
Do you feel like or do you say he's an all-star now? His peak is right now. I can get something for him, keep Drummond, and then build around that. So you're the GM. What do you do,
bro? The best move is to have either current all-stars or past all-stars on your team. Okay, so technically you would have Julius, all-star, Andre Drummond, past all-star. Then you would have RJ Barrett, future all-star. 3 all-stars on one team. You're building something great. Okay, so the more all-stars you have on your team, if you can possibly, then add role players around them, i.e. the Nets.
So you'll pay Drummond and Randle if you're the Knicks.
If I was them, I'd pay both of them because they're both going to be there. You already know what you get with Randle. The caveat is the rental. It all depends on how well he does during the time he comes. That's key. So, for example, James Harden was 16 and 4 in 20 games. That's what you call impact. That's what no, crazy, man.
Right.
And that's what you call, and that what Jay-Z said. He said, and that's what you call. See, I can't even remember the bar now.
Come on, you're a Brooklyn Net fan.
There it is, and that's what you call. And that's what you call a chain reaction. There you go. Bling.
There you go.
There you go. Oh. There's the bar. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I can't wait for the playoffs. I can't wait for AD and LeBron to come back healthy. KD's been chilling about 2-3 months off, relaxing, maxing. James Harden's been basically doing his best mellow impression.
Hey, listen, man. By the time LeBron AD come back, LA might be like 8th in the West. The standings change so quick. Like boom, boom, boom. Like Dallas is 7th, and Portland's going up and down. And Dallas, they picked up JJ Redick. They want to mention that. So one more shooter for Luka. Aldridge is still he's a free agent now. We mentioned Drummond, trying to mention some other small moves.
Well, before we go, also too, I just want to share this with the viewers. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for watching us. We do appreciate it. It's in the game. We appreciate all the love we get online and all the people listening to us on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, everywhere you can get us. But in reference to, there was a conversation back then, before I let you guys go, before we get out of here, there's a conversation about, real quick, Draymond Green saying he was the best defender. Okay? Boys and girls. All week, I'm hearing all these professional talkers about basketball talk about how they're bringing up Russell. They're bringing up Bill Russell. They're bringing up Tim Duncan. They're bringing up Dikembe Mutombo. They're bringing up Tony Allen. And I'm like, guys.
Rodman.
Guys. There's only 3 people technically that should be in this conversation. Draymond, I heard you. My point of this conversation is, if you're going to be the greatest defender, you have to defend all 5 positions, not just one. Tony Allen, Dikembe, Tim Duncan, etc. Yes, Olajuwon. Yes, these guys defended their positions. Even Olajuwon, maybe 4 positions, maybe 3, but 5 positions. Draymond Green, Rodman, Pippen. All 3 of those players I just mentioned can guard 5 positions well. 1 through 5. Scottie Pippen, I mean, come on. You got him guarding Magic Johnson. Then you got him guarding, then you got Rodman guarding a Sean Kemp, Karl Malone. Guys that are out are literally heavier than him. Alonzo Mourning, Rodman guarding Alonzo Mourning.
Shaq.
Okay. Shaq, Rodman guarding Shaq. Think about that for a second. Okay. You got Pippen guarding the guards that Jordan can't deal with.
What about Meta, Ron Artest?
4.
See?
The 4 horsemen. There you go. I'm good. Love me. The 4 horsemen of defenders. Okay.
Are
I just mentioned them. Rodman, Draymond, Pippen, Meta World Peace. The 4 horse. Tell me I'm wrong. The 4 horsemen of defenders. Okay. Meta World Peace had Kobe angry.
Yeah, against him and with him.
Meta World Peace had people shook daddy. Tracy McGrady. You name it. Okay. Don't get it twisted. You and then Kobe will tell you, like, yo, Ron Artest and Tony Allen. That's one thing. But he never even Pippen's guarding literally Kobe. Then he'll guard Rick Fox. Then he'll guard he's all over the place. He's in the back playing open field. So for all those, the 4 defenders, Rodman, Draymond, Pippen, Meta World Peace.
And on that note, Denny Blanco, I want to thank you for always coming on and joining me on the show. It's in the game here on Ball is Life, which you can find now on ballislife.com. Also on youtube.com/Cruz Control Podcast. You can find Denny Blanco on both Twitter and IG. I am Denny Blanco. You can find me on both Twitter and IG, Randy J. Cruz, RENDY, the letter JCRUZ. And me and Denny will see you next week. My man, thank you.
Ball is live.
Yes, sir. We out.